Hi guys, welcome back to another timeless reading. This is filmed on Friday, November 14th, 2025. Pulling from the Beauty of Horror tarot cards. I'll put up the box as I get everything out here. So one thing Spirit wanted me to bring up, and thank you to everybody that got readings, and it's truly a blessing, and I'm very grateful for all of you and for sharing your energy and being so open. I literally feel like the zombie right now. Looks like Nosferatu with the long fingers. So not a time for rest and rejuvenation. That's not what I wanted to bring up though. But remember, if you follow, you know that they were talking about you're gonna get some rest, but then it's gonna pick up. It was very short term. So retrograde is happening right now. And one thing they were bringing up is like careful, like this coming week. So it's like this week leading into the new moon, which should happen by the end of the next week, which is like what, the 20th, 21st. So if you're getting anxiety, I definitely got it last night, and I had no reason. Well, it's like shadow work, right? You're working on things that usually cause you grief and stress and anxiety, and it's like, listen, you know in your life that anytime something has come up that is giving you that kind of, try to make it worse than it is, our brain can be the worst part of it. And it's like, first thing you got to say to yourself, did I get enough rest? Am I tired? Am I drinking enough water? Like simple things that we overlook. Like we don't understand how important sleep is. That is the time that your body rejuvenates. Like if funny enough, I was doing a reading and they're like, talk about Fortnite wrapping around bandages, and I'm like, I have to get the sound because they kept playing it, and it's like slamping on the bandages. It's like putting a bandage on, on things instead of actually dealing with things. You know what I mean? But it's just like you got to sit there. And sometimes, even myself, nobody's perfect. Just because we think we've healed from things or we think we're learned from things, it's like things will still try to sneak up there, especially during retrogrades where it's just like, it's coming up because you still got some healing to do, you know? So it's like that insecurity, and it's just like, knowing that, what a freaking blessing this week, you know what I mean? It's just like, allow, instead of putting all your energy into worrying and doubt, I'm not trying to push faith on you or anything, but talk to the universe if that's who you talk to. Whoever you have put your faith system into, even if it's your higher self, let your higher self talk to you. It's like, it's going to be okay. Like, let's logically think about this instead of being in fear. So they're showing full moon walking away from something. You know, there's a contemplation here. Do not make major decisions out of emotions. Do not make decisions if you can help it, because sometimes life just be lifing. Don't sit there and make a decision to walk away from something because you're tired, because you're emotional, because of a temporary situation. I feel like maybe an offer will come in, but I don't feel like it's sustainable. I feel like there's still more work to do. They're showing the action card from the Energy Oracle cards. Amazing deck to invest into. What wait for sales? Hay House had a great sale. My girlfriend got it for $14. I think because she's in the United States, she got it for more economic than that. Maybe I'm saying, like, I think because I live in Canada, like, you have to pay the conversion. When I bought that deck, it was like $45 US. So, and it's an amazing deck. Like, that is my tried and true. Anytime I do a reading, it's like that one, numerology. That's why I love watching people pull cards and do readings, because I see the decks and I feel drawn to them. And I'm like, and I go looking for them, or I'll ask them, what deck is that? Hopefully they comment. TikTok is a little more difficult because I'm, especially when they have a big following, it's like they don't have time for that. So they're showing justice here because she's in like a death sentence, electric chair. I feel like it's just like walking away from something that felt like a death sentence, or you're moving past something that felt like a death sentence. Like, I definitely felt like this shift happened where it's like I feel guilty for talking to people because, it's almost been 9 years since Shane has passed. And I know he doesn't expect me to stay single the rest of my life, but it's like you feel this guilt, even though I have nothing to feel guilty for, I am not a bad person. I was not a bad wife to him. You know what I mean? I was not a bad mother to his children, our children. So it's just like, and again, this is not feeding the ego. It's just, sitting there and like, when he passed away, I'm like, he left this world knowing that he was freaking loved and cherished. Like, the conversation when we left, it was just like, last thing he said to me is, make sure no one eats my lasagna. And I chuckled to myself. I'm like, of course not. Like, like, no one's going to touch your lasagna. You know what I mean? It's just like, we made plans for the following weekend. He's like, maybe we'll go to my mom's, the next weekend. He hadn't, you know what I mean? It's just like, sometimes that's why it's like, live life to the fullest, even though it doesn't look like what you think it was supposed to look like, or what you want it to look like. It's like, keep putting the effort in. I love watching tarot readers, and it's like, I feel drawn to them, and I'm like, oh, I'll find them again. I usually don't, so I started following them, and it's like, if I fall out of them, if I don't resonate with them anymore, I'll unfollow them, or I'll just skip the video. It doesn't resonate with me. Only thing with that is that when you skip it, they stop coming in your For You page. You have to go hunt them down. They're showing the Five of Swords, verbal altercations. Watch your words. Just because you're tired, they're saying anxiety, feels like gutted. See, there's a lot of things going on here. We're tired. We're trying to move on from something that felt like a death sentence, and it made us feel gutted. You know what I mean? It's like the Five of Swords is all about, using our words in a very malicious way, very Scorpio energy. They have this hard shell, but they're so sensitive. You know what I mean? They're always trying to protect themselves. Hence why they have the tail. It's like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to maim you, and they use their tail to maim you, which is their words. But it's like feeling gutted. So this could be like a portrayal here, and because with the electric chair, it's like, this is like ultimate truth, Libra, air energy, justice. So there may be some sort of justice coming here that, they made you feel gutted. The situation made you gutted. See, Ace of Cups is sideways. I feel like it's because it's like, you were supposed to have something fill your cup. Universe was trying to fill your cup, and someone purposely stopped it. Someone purposely blocked your blessings, and it's like, you cannot stop what was meant for people. You think you can, but you can't. Maybe you think you can manipulate things, but it's like, that's only temporary, because you know what is done in the darkness is brought to light. The truth always has a way of finding out. Queen of Pentacles. This is why it's coming to you, because they know. See, like, it's like their green ugly, they call envy like the green ugly monster, the you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel people are envious. You were supposed to fail. How dare you be thriving? How dare you not friggin' rely on us? How dare you, sit there and come out stronger than you were before? Because sometimes, and unfortunately, we go through situations because something lays dormant in us. You know what I mean? And this is what pokes it. This is what provokes it to bring it out. So I feel like it's like the universe knows, as they bless your hands, you bless others. They talk about, like, out of their poverty, and it's not, you always say you're pre-rich, you get paid to exist, positive affirmations, just because it looks like lack, it doesn't mean it's always lack. It just means, like, a certain cycle. It's like changing your perspective. Again, shadow work. That's what retrograde's for. Even though there's some things happen, like with us when we moved, like the guys called out that one day, and I'm like, it's kind of like a hidden blessing because I needed another day. The girl started chuckling. And she's like, oh yeah, they partied a little too hard. I'm like, that's okay, I need another day. She goes, I was hoping you would say that. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I still wasn't prepared. I should have waited until mid-January. That's my own fault. Rushing, trying to get out of situations. But it looks like 10 of Cups, it's like you're laughing. You're going to be like dancing on Cloud 5, celebrating. Cloud 5, Cloud 9, my gosh. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like even like overcoming the storm. You know what I mean? Like the storm was surrounding your house. And it's just like, I feel like with the skeletons, I feel like it's, maybe you're a spooky person like myself, where, like, every day is Halloween in your house. You can see from my decor on the table. But it's just like, you're going to see this shift. And I feel like December 15th is that shift. You know what I mean? Give it retrograde its time. Let it do what's going to do. You know what I mean? And then there's the hangover energy. So I feel like a delay in money. You know what I mean? Like you expected to get on this time, but it comes a little bit later. They're showing December 26th. Don't freak out. It's coming. Maybe you expected like December 14th and it comes the 26th. So maybe like a work bonus or something like that. You know what I mean? Acknowledgement is what they're saying. But I feel like, again, envious green monster, it's like, oh, we don't want to fill their heads. We don't want to fill up their ego. We don't want them thinking they're better than everyone else. You know, why do that? They'll just turn on us. So they'll start performing crappy or something like that. So this is a cycle. I feel like it's the retrograde cycle, but they're showing new moon to full moon in the next cycle. So we should be heading towards a full moon like early December week. I don't have AstroSeek open, so I can't see it, but I believe it's like that. Like right now, it was so beautiful last night. It was like flurries last night, and the sky was hazy. But you could see like this. I love that treasure cat, like kind of grin in the sky, and it's like you could faintly see it. I'm like, am I seeing things? Is that a freaking street light? But it was, the waning crescent. So waning crescent heading into a new moon, and that's what I'm saying. Like usually around this time, it's like that shift. It's like this is where it's like anxieties, like your shadow energy come up. So with retrograde, it's like bringing up things that make you feel insecure, and it's like, this is what we want to work on. It's like, it's not actual fact. It makes us feel this way because maybe that's you grew up with a lack, and you're trying to prevent that happening in your life that you have control of, but things happen, look at us. How many times have we moved since Shane's passed? You know what I mean? And I'm like reading my Torah, and it's like, and I'm reading my passages, and it's like, please let us find peace. You know what I mean? And security. And it's like, that's why I was such in a like, let's just get the hell out of here kind of situation. The one next to me on my right, I lived in a triplex, but the one, oh my God, on the left, it's like, no, don't want to be in no. It's like not a good situation. It's like, you know what you want for your life. And it's like how universe kept reminding me. It's like, remember how you and Shane started? You guys started in a basement bachelor apartment. You guys worked your freaking butt off. You guys are a dynamic duo, and you got to this place. And it's like, it's like, I know Shane is not physically here, but it's just like, I know what I'm capable of. You know what I mean? And then that's what Spirit is reminding me of. It's like, don't forget who you were before all this happened. It's like, yeah, you went through a healing stage. Things shifted. Life ended up, not, this was not on my bingo card. You know what I mean? You get in a relationship with someone, have children, you expect it to be forever. You know what I mean? So things in life happen. But like I was saying, something's coming out of the blue here. You're going to be thankful. They're saying thankful. This is probably something you've been praying for. Remember, if you follow, they were saying like, what was it? Three blessings. So there might be minor ones, and then there's like a major one. You know what I mean? Or they're all three minor ones. But it's like, nevertheless, it's like, always be thankful that came in. You know what I mean? Like, before my knees got ickety and crickety, like, I still try to. Like, I'll put a cushion on the floor. As they say, like, if you read any spiritual book, they prostrated themselves. I'm probably saying that word wrong. But it's like, sitting there and kneeling and being thankful. Like, again, you don't have to do that. But, doing things that pull at your heartstrings. You know what I mean? It's like, you have this faith-based system. Like with us, we celebrate Shabbat, we celebrate the high holidays, like we do the things. But it's just like, certain things that pull at our heartstrings, that, we feel good about. It's like we do those things, and it's just like an added layer of things. Like I told the kids, when we get our own property, we're going to have, this place, and we're going to do this. And, I want to build, like, I want to get like pews from, or I'll see what's comfortable. Like I want comfortable seating, but it's like, to the point where we can make a place that we can go and, just have that, it's like, it's where your heart is. See, this is what I'm talking about. Coming out of the blue, and you're going to be so like, oh my gosh, blessing after blessing. And for the Seven of Cups, for me, I feel like it's like fur babies and a home and riches, and like when she show the wreath, it's like Victor wearing the wreath. You know what I mean? Like, I know here is different. That white lotus flower really stands out for me. It's like the door to healing, and it's from the Energy Oracle cards again. I've been using that a lot this week with all the readings. Dianu, for all the blessings. Door to healing and happiness, I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But that's what I feel like. It's like, oh my gosh, like, how, you know what I mean? It's like, this is where they're like, have faith. It's like, you don't know how it's going to happen. Just like, my girlfriend's really good at that. She'll sit there and she's just like, she'll just say something. You know what I mean? And it happens. I'm like, she just prophesizes. But they're saying like your work out on display. So being in the forefront, like this, I don't think it's her, but it was someone else. And they're like, I felt like, and this is like where you gotta really learn like your value, especially if you post like myself. It's just like the numbers always go up and down. And sometimes you're just like, what the hell am I posting for? Nobody gives a crap. And they're like, she's like, you keep posting. She's like, I don't care. She's like, she's like, you keep posting. I'm like, okay, yes, I hear you. You know what I mean? See, it's like Page of Swords, the truth coming in. And it's like, you are the victor wearing the wreath, but it's like, it doesn't matter now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the truth it's like the truth comes out and it's like, you know what I mean? There's no, it's, the damage has been done. There's no undoing this. You know what I mean? It's like the truth. I feel like this justice card. You know what I mean? I feel like this is what they're saying. What's done in the darkness comes to light. I feel like someone purposely provoked this. I feel like they probably think that you're part of it, and it's like you have nothing. You're oblivious to it. You know what I mean? Like you had no part. Like it's like I got better things to do. You know what I mean? It's just like they're like your counterpart. But someone did some digging here. Someone did some or stirring the pot kind of thing, because that's what they like to do. They stir the pot and then they sit back and it's like, oh, it's not me. I had nothing to do with it. And it's like, it was them the whole time. It's like, and I feel like they've been warned about this person all along. It's like, that person is no good. Oh, no, 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 no. You know what I mean? Like, because they do little things here and there. And it's like, that's why you end up in these situations. You blah, 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 blah too much. What you did in the darkness, you blah, 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 and you were arrogant, and you talked about it too much, and you crossed this person. So now they're like, you want to play games? Let's play games. Like, they're petty. They're like, you want to play some games? Let's play some games. But the thing is, it's like, they'll come to you and be like, you know what? Yes, this should have happened. That justice card, you know what I mean? And it's like, it made things harder. But it's just like, whatever is meant for you, even if people think they've taken it away from you, it's like, it will still find its way to you in some way or shape or form. It's like, it didn't happen then. You didn't falter. It wasn't exactly how you thought. It didn't turn out the way you thought. That's okay. But now, we're going to bring that in. Probably because you know what to do with it. Because now you have a better mindset that you won't, frivolously kind of piss it away. You know what I mean? So it's just like, now the opportunity is going to come in and you're just like, I know exactly what to do. Because before you would have, you know what I mean? It's just, I guess, kind of like numbing the pain, or it's like, denying what happened. You know what I mean? Sometimes people shop or get like parcels, like, like packages at the door, and you get some sort of short-term euphoria, like, oh, I got something. And then it's just like, it dies off. You know what I mean? It's just, well, certain things. But they're showing the chariot here. I feel like this was, again, I feel like this is like, you are the victor wearing the wreath. Going back to the Page of Swords. Truth, very air sign energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I feel like, again, it's like, you're in control of your life, and you're a powerhouse. You just keep pushing forward. You're like, whatever. You like mow them down with the coffin car here. You're like, screw you, move. Like, I got shit to do. Like that song, move, B, get out of the way. It's like that. It's just like you pelt them with the car. It's like Mario Kart they're showing. Just you see them, you purposely like tick them with your car, like the right hand of your car. Like it's like you didn't have to, but you kind of swerve over and just like, I know. I know. That's what kills you. So things are shifting where things are starting to, like, you're taking your guard down. You're taking your walls down a little bit. Still keep your walls up with certain people. Like they were saying, don't refriend people. Don't refamily people. You know what I mean? It's just like like they said, the crap has happened, But certain people in your life, you know what I mean? And I definitely had that. I just was standing outside and just this feeling came over me. And I'm just like, you know what? You don't even have to be nice to us. You don't even have to do this. And you know what I mean? Out of the kindness, you could have done anything with that and did not even give a crap. You know what I mean? But it's such an amazing it always makes us laugh. Always checks on us. It's just like, damn, man. Like, like, when they talk, like, I don't wish this journey on anyone. And it's like moving to where we did, and it's just like, looking for peace. And it took us a long time to find peace. And it's just like, you still don't feel like you belong here. You know what I mean? It's just like, you kind of escapism. You know what I mean? But it's just like, because how we felt, when we were all in Ontario. But it's just like, it's not the same. Even my sister said the same thing. It doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? But they're showing the lovers here, and I don't feel necessarily like a love connection. I feel like this is like a energy connection. Like I was talking about, like, even with this other person that came in, someone that I'm close with was doting about me, and the other person, sat there and took a chance. They didn't have to freaking trust me. Took a chance, and it's just been blessing after blessing. It's just, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's why they're saying it's like this shift is happening. It's like you sometimes have to go through cycles, go through your shadow work, go through the healing so it doesn't affect you. It doesn't frig up anything that's coming up down the line. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know it freaking sucks. Trust me. I know it sucks. And I know that there's a lot of shadow energy that comes up there that makes you want, like, the lack, the scarcity, I don't know how to articulate that, but it's just like afraid of that everything's gonna fall apart. And it's like, girl, like when things were nowhere where they are now, it's like, did you falter? No. You know what I mean? It's like they're showing like your foot is stuck in the mud, but it's like your toe still. So it's like you're unstucking yourself. You know what I mean? Uneffing yourself. But it's just like, it's like changing the narrative of people that wanted to put that on you because they wanted you to fail. It's like changing the narrative of like, it's like, this is who you are. Don't forget who you are. You know what I mean? Every time in life where cycles have happened where it's like you should have failed, you didn't. Because you don't want to fail. And it's not even failing. Like, even if you try and it doesn't turn out the way that you want, like, remember that soundbite that I put on the daily cards from Healing Tools? And it was like, our Healing Energies. And it's like, repeat after me. If it fails, if I try, and I fail, then, and it's like, it doesn't mean I fail. And they're like, it's shit, it's garbage, don't try again. It's changing that. Because it's like, we know that if things don't look the way that you want it to look like, I turn to my faith. Like, literally, like, talking with someone, and it's like going through an effed up situation, and she was just like, you know what? I leave it up to God. I was just like, oh my gosh. But you know what I mean? It's like, situation's a little bit different. But she's like, I just trust God. She goes, whatever's supposed to happen, I trust God. And, she asked us to pray for her, and I prayed for her, Shabbat, for her health, for her well-being, for all these situations. And we were just talking about a couple people, Sarah and Chris. And it's just like, talking about, like, it may not look like the way that we want, but we keep going. So this came out twice, a rebirth in our life. The star card, rest and rejuvenation. funny. But they're showing, like, the Two of Swords here. It's like, this is not a decision. So concentrate on what makes you happy. Because the double card, people are going to come in and try to sneak up in here and try to mess around with that. Oh, I didn't even see that one. But where'd it go? So the first one I got was, like, feeling all tied up. 8 of Swords. But it's an 8. You know what I mean? Because 8 is like, and think about the infinity symbol. Right now, retrograde is moving things out of our life that no longer serve us. We're doing the shadow work. They're like, listen, even though you feel this way, and you know what I mean? Like, it's like an old habit. Like, we got to change the narrative of what we're used to thinking. Panic. Have a panic attack. Have anxiety. Shake your foot. Sit there and keep your shoulders up under your ears. Sit there and clench your jaw. And it's like, we're hurting ourselves. It's like we're putting ourselves, it upsets our stomach. And instead of doing that, it's like, let's use that energy and transmute it and turn it into something positive. Let's put energy into here. Thank God for Courtney and Gabby. You know what I mean? And it's just been like this freaking snowball effect. And I'm so freaking incredibly grateful. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell her how incredibly grateful I'm to the both of them. Because it's just like, you know what? People don't verbalize how they feel enough. And some people are like, oh, if you do that, then they get full. No. You know what? I want you to know how I feel. Because who knows if I'll ever get another opportunity to thank you. I don't want you to think that I'm not thankful or full of myself. And it's like, oh, of course you can. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, That's why I treat people the way I do that come for private readings, because I know how hard we work for our money. I know how hard life can get. You know what I mean? Especially with the ever increasing prices of stuff. And it's just like, with my job, it's always a seasonal thing. You know what I mean? The season changes. This happens. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe God's going to make a way for me to get back to healing full time again. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, let the shift happen. It sucks. Nobody likes change, but the shift is necessary right now because it's transmuting negative energy, negative thoughts. It's like breaking that pattern. The definition of insanity. We grew up a certain way, so it kind of underlining, oh my gosh, when things look, pantry looks kind of, getting sparse and stuff like that. And it's like, well, it's kind of like a blessing because you could see what you have, go through everything, and, discard anything that is expired and, recalibrate, replenish it, So, it's just, it's like changing that thought process because it's like, that's not fact. So the star card came. Yeah, rebirth. But where was that? Rest and rejuvenation because of that one. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm pulling it properly. So they're saying like, feeling all tied up because this is a rebirth in your life. This is a rebirth in your life, Ace of Wands. So new opportunities. Like literally I was telling a couple people I was reading for, we have this flower that's a Hebrew flower that usually blooms or is in full bloom by Passover. And this is not supposed to bloom until like January 16th. And it's already budding. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So because it's like that kind of flower where it's seasonal, I sit there and I put it on the side. And when I start seeing it budding again, I'll take it out and, put my TLC into it. And it's just like, you know what I mean? I feel like I don't feel like spring. I feel like we're going to get winter, but it's like an early spring, early rebirth. It's like this major shift. Remember they talked about this was going to happen? That the shift was going to happen. It was going to be a season, like a harvest blessing. But it's like sowing seeds. So it's like they're telling us that this energy is transmuting out because there's a rebirth happening in our life. They're sitting there and it's like all the seedlings that you planted. So like going back to that 7 of Cups where it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like everything that you wanted to happen, in this situation where, that it's like, they're like, this should have happened. It's kind of like bringing, I don't know how to put that, like bringing back to your name, like because people ran you down, oh blah blah blah, this, and it's like, no, it should have been this way the whole time. Had nothing to do with her. It was this one that manipulated the situation. This one manipulated the courts. This one manipulated the documents. This one, you know what I mean? Because it was all about greed, and they ran you down. They said all these things, and then it's like, remember they're saying, don't refriend, don't refamily. Because it's just like, they already showed you their cards. Just like I'm showing you cards. They already put all their cards on the table. You're not part of the family. Yeah, it's like, well, I never felt like what I was. So, nothing new there. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's too late for that. Like, That's why I was with Shane and we had our family. Because we always felt included. We always had a great time. Playing video games, watching movies. Shane made this little cute soldier from Kubu and the Two Strings, the dad that turned into the samurai. And Shane and Michael went into the kitchen, and Shane sat there with, it looks like origami, but he taped it together so it wouldn't fall apart. We still have it. You know what I mean? We sit there, and it's just like, Michael and him have this crazy connection. And I'm like, put it in your room, He has his favorite picture of the two of them up. He has that there, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just something, and I always tell them when we're moving, put it in the dresser where it's not going to get squished or anything while we're moving. Because that's, his energy's in that. You know what I mean? Him and Michael did that. Michael was sitting there getting the tape for him, and they made it. And it's so cool. He drew a face on it and everything. And I'm like, that is, like, not even knowing what was going to happen a couple weeks later. Or I think a few days later, to be honest. But they're saying this star card. Things are going to be chaotic. There's going to be a time of rest or rejuvenation. But like they said, there's so many cards, it's like hard to find everything now. It's going to be short term. Again. Oh, right there. Like the first card. It's like they're saying, like, after a chaotic time, you're feeling like Nosferatu there. You know what I mean? It's like you're awakened. It's just like, we got to get things going here. So they're saying Christmas is going to be crazy, which is fine. But I love about this is it's like, this is not your decision. It's like, I feel like it's just like, they're saying like rest and then you get back to it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, don't sit there and feel like, oh my gosh, because you're so used to go, go, go and a full life by the grace of God, Diana, what a blessing, right? They're saying like, but this is not going to be a choice, because this is what you wanted. And it's like, we get upset because we have to put the energy, like, oh my gosh, I really don't, I sat there, I'm like, God, give me the strength to get through this week. Like, you can't even hear my voice. I'm losing my voice. But, or I need to give my voice a rest. But, highlighting the crown chakra here. And it's like, yeah, crap has happened, but you know what? There's still a lot to be grateful for. It's like a magical Christmas, a wonderful Christmas. So hopefully whatever comes in here is going to, make that possible. And they're showing the 10 of Wands. Stop taking things on. Wrap up what you need to do. So like with myself, like I was so spoiled. I had to take a picture. I remember walking out one morning, I think I was walking Sunny, and I was just like, how blessed is that to walk out and look at that? All the flowers everywhere. Like, I have a vision what I would like to do here, but I know, this is short term, so, you know what I mean? I'll wait till, And I know when I move, and we move, that what I want to do is going to be, years of work, but it'll be worth it in the long run. You know what I mean? But it's just like, even if it's temporary, it's like, make the most of it. You know what I mean? Live, love, laugh, everything. Do everything that, like, they talk about your inner child energy, and it's like me, like, one of the things I remember is the one place we lived at, my mom did this huge freaking garden. She did flowers, she did carrots, she did everything. And it was this big garden that took over the whole, like, the by the fence line, and it was just so amazing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's the kind of stuff I love, living with my aunt, and she had this enormous garden, you know what I mean? And I remember, like, there was snow, and she's like, can you get it's not spinach, but it was huge leaves. And she's like, can you go get some? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. So I sat there and I put her boots on and I go out in the snow and I get it for her. And it was just like, I remember that garden. I remember going back like years later, and I'm just like, damn, what happened to your garden? And she's like, I just don't have the strength for it. And I was just like, oh my God, or the time, because she had photography business and all this stuff. And it's just like, that's another thing I remember. It's like, gardening has always been a part of who I am. And that's what I'm thankful. Like, when we were living at the house, I'm like, Shane, next year we should do, I saw my neighbor growing, because it was rocky. It used to be a ravine, and then it got covered up, and then it turned into a backyard. They filled it in. They had the big cylinders underneath so the water could still run, but it gave everybody a big backyard. And I was just like, we should do like the neighbors did, like, sit there and, do tomatoes and stuff like that. We did sunflowers, but unfortunately what happened. But it's just like, that's one thing I'm grateful for. And this is what I'm talking about. Even those crappy things happen, it's like, no matter where we lived, we've always had a yard. We've always had like space. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I always had room to garden and grow. Like, the first year we made this huge memorial garden for Dad and Shane. You know what I mean? And we had the angels sitting in my living room, but it will be in a garden again for them. You know what I mean? Like, I always visualize these plans that I have. So it's just like, just because things happen that way, don't forget who you are. And we lose ourselves in that because, you've been, felt like I told, I can't remember who I was talking to, but it felt like a cannon went through me. You know what I mean? You see it so many times in shows, like a cannon goes through, and it's like, unless you've experienced this, it's like, how that is. Someone significant in your life that, you miss dearly, and it's just like, that is a part of you. It's ingrained in, like, a soul connection. That's what I was saying. The lovers there, it's like a soul connection, an energy connection. I don't feel like this is a new partnership or anything like that. I feel like this is a connection. Like, you guys want to be around each other. You guys, love and laugh and just have a good time. And it's just like, you love being around each other. It has nothing to do with, that extra level. You may be already in a partnership. That's why it's like someone's coming in like a friendship here. You know what I mean? It's just kindred spirits is what they're saying. It's just, making each other laugh, and it's just like kind of being that light in each other's life that you need. You know what I mean? It's like, be very lucky when you have those connections. But it's just, watch your words, especially because you know what? People will probably give up 30 million comments and just that one comment. I feel like that's why a lot of us are afraid to post, because just that one nasty comment, and it's just, it really gets to you. It just, it's like a sword. It freaking maims you, you know? But just watch yourself. Even though this comes to light, this situation, you know what I mean? It's just like, there's nothing that can be done now because it's already done. You know, like we could, but it's like, is it really freaking worth it? I feel like it's a waste of money and energy. I feel like it's more of a waste of energy. So it's just like, leave it the way it is. It's still, you know, gonna work out that way, but I feel like they're saying 10 times more than what was supposed to happen will come in some sort of way. Like, if you're like myself, you know it's from Yahweh and Yeshua. Nobody can deny what is meant for you, and as long as you're not doing anything in vain, if you're not hurting, you know what I mean? Take that energy that they're trying to get you involved in and transmute it and send it down to the core of the earth and let it burn up and turn it into something beautiful. You know what I mean? They're talking about seedlings. They're talking about these 7 of cups. Like, 7s and 8s you're getting. So enlightenment and prosperity. And prosperity comes in many shapes or forms. And that's why they were saying minor blessings are coming in and a major blessing is coming in. So, you know what I mean? Be grateful for all of it as it comes in. And if you feel drawn to do something that speaks to your soul, even if you're, sometimes family doesn't understand, and they start, and I feel like it's your immediate house. If they don't understand it, it's like, keep doing it. My household didn't understand, and you know what I mean? Like, we did Sunday school and everything, and now that's shifted. So it's just like, as people get older, as experiences happen, it's just like, you start to see the hand of God in everything. And if you're a spiritual person, I'm not trying to push anything on you, but what you feel drawn to, wearing a cross, wearing a rosary, whatever you feel drawn to, sit there and start implementing that into your life, because that's your soul speaking to you. This has been always been ingrained in you. This has always been a part of you. You were born with this, like your DNA. It's like this was always ingrained in you, and it's probably one of your ancestors that were like that, if it's not your parents that were like that. And it's like, this has always been in our fabric, in our being, in our lineage, and this has always been a part of us. Just because this generation came in and messed it all up and they did the things that they did, now we're fixing it. I know in both scenarios that people played a part in that, but it's like, we are all individuals. We are breaker of chains. So if you want to carry on the toxicity and make it even worse for the next generation, and we're the ones that have to fix it, let it be that. That's why we're built with strong backs. They're showing the back, and it's, how strong it is. That's why you're built with a strong back, because you can carry the weight and you can block it from that bleeding on to the next one. Because it's like, let us be the one that takes the arrows, and they're showing that, where it takes the arrows and the knives and everything, and you're leaning down and it's like a child, and you're sitting there giving them what they need. Doesn't matter how old they are. And it's like giving them what they need so they can sit there and be the next part that sits there and starts something beautiful, like planting the seedlings. We're teaching them how to grow seedlings, and now they've got a baby plant, and they're going to nurture it, and now it's going to be like a tree. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, be that person, be that change. Even if they're not your family, like you're a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is, it's like you're sitting there making that change so real change can happen. That's like I said, the first, a journey starts with the first step. It's like working out or anything. It's just like, the first workout always sucks, and not every workout's going to be great, but it's just like the way that you feel afterwards, you're just like, damn, I should have done that earlier. I should have started sooner. Can't fix anything about it now, so let's start a pattern now, So winter's coming. They're saying it's about to snow. My gosh. I'm like, I knew 17th, 19th, it's been flurrying for the past couple of days, and it's just like, they're knocking. They're like, we're coming. So I hope you enjoyed this timeless reading. I'll try and post some more. Like, I don't know how things are going to look because, life is lifing. But, I'll try and do this a little bit more next week. I'm doing my best. But take what resonates, and may the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next one.